In a quiet suburb of Michigan in the summer of 2024, a family decided to replace the rotting floor of their 1923 front porch. As the workers lifted the old boards, they didn't just find dirt and joists. Beneath the porch was an entire sealed room, dusty, forgotten, untouched for nearly a century. This isn't a ghost story. It's not buried treasure. It's one of those quiet, unsettling discoveries that still turn up in old Midwest homes. Welcome to Behind the Walls. Today, the story of the forgotten coal room. Between the 1910s and 1940s, coal was the main source of heat across the Midwest: Illinois, Michigan, Ohio, Indiana, Wisconsin. Homes from that era were often built with a very practical feature: a small room or bin located directly under the front porch. Why right there? Coal trucks would pull up to the street. A chute, sometimes just a metal pipe or small window, allowed the coal to be dumped straight into the storage space below. The porch provided shelter from rain and snow, and the location made delivery easy and discreet. The room itself was usually brick or concrete, with a sloped floor so the coal would slide toward the access door inside the basement. Then, after World War II, most homes switched to oil, natural gas, or electric heating. The coal chute was boarded up. The interior door was bricked over or covered with drywall, and very often, the porch floor was simply rebuilt right over the top. No one wanted to deal with the leftover coal dust and debris. These sealed coal rooms are surprisingly common. You can still find mentions of them in renovation forums, from Pittsburgh to Chicago to Detroit. In June 2024, in a working-class suburb outside Detroit, a young family bought a modest 1920s fixer-upper at a low price. During the porch replacement, the contractors noticed something odd. The concrete footer under the porch steps seemed to have a hollow space behind it. They carefully broke through, and flashlight beams revealed a small, low-ceilinged room, about 6 by 10 feet, roughly 5 feet high, brick walls, a sloped concrete floor still dusted with black coal residue, a small, high coal chute window, boarded over from the inside, but visible from the street if you knew where to look. Inside, several rusted coal buckets, a broken shovel, a few empty burlap sacks stamped with dates from the 1940s, and an old carbide lantern. The most striking detail, written in faded chalk on one brick wall: last fill, December 1947. The previous owners, who had lived there since the early 1970s, never mentioned it. The house had changed hands at least twice since then. No one disclosed the room during inspections or sales. Why was it sealed? Most likely when the home converted to a gas furnace in the late 1950s or early 1960s, the owners simply didn't want to clean out decades of coal dust. Similar discoveries have been reported in Ohio, Illinois, and Indiana in recent years, sometimes with preserved canned goods from the 1950s, old tools, or even Prohibition-era bottles. What makes these discoveries quietly disturbing is how ordinary they are. People lived, ate, slept, raised children directly above a sealed piece of the house's past for decades. Sometimes the previous owners knew and never said a word. Sometimes they truly didn't know. In most cases, there's no crime, no dark secret. Just practical abandonment after a change in technology. But every now and then, these rooms hold something more personal. A name scratched into the wall, a child's toy left behind, or a date that marks the exact moment the space was closed off forever. In this Michigan case, the family chose not to fill it in. They cleaned it out, added ventilation, and now call it a historical feature of the house. Forgotten coal rooms under porches are silent reminders. Old Midwest homes often hold more than what's shown on the blueprints. If you're renovating a house built before 1950, take a closer look under the front porch. You never know what might still be waiting there. Have you or someone you know ever found a hidden space like this? Share your stories in the comments. Subscribe if you want to see more real, unsettling discoveries hidden behind walls, under floors, and inside forgotten buildings. Behind the walls, where the past quietly steps into the light. See you in the next video.